Hi, Sky, co-founder of Imagine AI. We were a YC of 25 company, and we're succeeding in December, and now we are full steam ahead on our product. What the company do is that we're a research company that specializes in B2B growth research, and we create software for B2B growth.
Okay, cool. So we will just go around like what we did for the previous Chalmers. So yeah, we each have our own struggles, company-wise, founder-wise, and let's just open up a group discussion. So Green, let's start with you. Introduction and just let's go. Let's just introduce everyone here.
Hi, my name is Green from Car, and I'm part of the B2B growth and B2C growth at the company.
What is Orcar?
Car is a planetary company solution to the international travelers and then local company.
Hello, my name is Che. I'm building a podcast company at Zerobase. I love storytelling, so my goal is to kind of tell stories of founders and like VCs to like the general audience in a very interesting way.
Hi, my name is Daniel, and I'm building the ownership and consent layer between personal health data, hospitals, healthcare AI, and medical research. So we are building B2B platform and B2C platforms to ways and then sharing their data through the personal to the organizations. Yes, we are building the infrastructure with the blockchain.
That's fine.
Hi, I'm Zhongwan, and I'm a co-founder of Orcar. I came here with Green.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, I used to be a software engineer. Yeah.
Do you want to tell a little bit about Orcar?
So we help international travelers who visit Korea or Okinawa or LA to rent cars very easily from booking to return. We help everything with AI.
Nice. Is it different than Turo?
Oh yeah, because Churro is basically for the providers are individual, but our partners are local rental car companies. So yeah, that's a huge difference.
I see.
Cool.
That's cool.
Green. Questions?
Question?
Yeah.
Okay, I prepared. I saw the notes on the board.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I made a question. What's the single biggest mistake you see early stage B2B founders making on LinkedIn?
Yeah, on LinkedIn specifically.
Yeah.
So like, what do they
Like a social media.
like in terms of how they present their brand or the way they do their content?
Oh.
Like in terms of like the way they present their brand, or is it like the stuff they post?
First.
Ah,
Representing the brand, the company. Okay.
I think a couple things when it comes to B2B, right? B2B, when you think about it, business to business, is a lot of kind of this trust building between you and it's a lot of this trust building between you and the user, like you and the other person. So a lot of this is kind of business trust building. So something you can think about is like when you think about trust building on an individual level, it's like, let's say you maintaining, let's say Dunbar's law, which is 150 connections with another person, right? With a group of people, 150 people. But then when you think about it from a business perspective, a business can maintain this kind of relationship with hundreds of people. So let's say a business, like hundreds, thousands of connections. Because let's say you're a business, you're an organization, therefore you probably have vendors, you probably have friends, you have customers, and then you have customers who refer you other customers, right? And then it becomes a whole ecosystem, a network. You have partners on content distribution, you have partners on events. So as a company, you develop a relationship with thousands of people compared to hundreds that you can develop yourself. So one thing I think really important for B2B founders is to kind of have this unified brand, right? This kind of brand presence. Like, let's say your company is called Allcar.
Yeah, or car.
Allcar. So with Allcar, one thing to present, you could be like, hey, we're Allcar. We're a all-in-one AI solution for car rental, something like that, right? Like, hey, like this is what we do. and then you want to present this brand in a way that is cohesive, and then in a way that you show this big vision, and also having coupled with like content that shows that, hey, you have real business, right? It could be kind of customer journey examples, like for example, you a case study with a customer, hey, like I rent this car, I do that. So a common mistake I seen across is people kind of tend to ignore that kind of branding layer. They think that, hey, like I'm a B2B company, it doesn't really matter what I present to the world on LinkedIn, it doesn't really matter what I put myself as, right? Which is a big mistake in my opinion, because when you're thinking about an entity, now everybody associate all car with you. So with green, right? So everybody associate all car with green. So basically, but now if you don't have a good branding, you don't really present what all car is, people are not going to really be thinking about that, right? So it's about that mind share.
Do you think more B2B founders post on LinkedIn than X?
Yes, I think LinkedIn is, as we know, it's the biggest platform for B2B growth, for any kind of B2B relationship, B2B interaction, right? It's also a growing platform,
right?
So I believe there was a study like 80% of the B2B marketers or something who does marketing on B2B on LinkedIn they get customer from it. I'm not exactly sure about that number, so double check it. But the general gist is they do prioritize LinkedIn compared to X more.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But do you still, as a founder, post on X actively?
I used to be more active on X, but the thing about LinkedIn and X is two different kind of segment. LinkedIn started as a resume index, and then later they added social feed, then they added short form video, but it's a .com era product. A lot of it is kind of you're creating this, and they recently changed their algorithm to prioritize kind of evergreen content.
Okay.
So therefore you're kind of pushing out thought leadership, pushing out your journey, right? Kind of like a blog almost, like more like a evergreen that you're supposed to go back on. And also it has your resume, so all your highest signal information is on LinkedIn. It's not the fastest way to connect with one another, and that's kind of related to our company mission. But basically, and then when it comes to X is more like a big group chat. You just have to be active on the group chat, or else you'll be forgotten.
Right.
So on X is all about like, let's post 5 times a day. Let's keep like messaging. Let's replying to other people. Right. There's a growth strategy for X that's very formulated. Like, hey, I'm gonna be a reply guy. I'm gonna be a niche banger kind of person. I'm gonna be like doing this. So I think X is more group chat, kind of like this casual, more focus, right? Like I feel like LinkedIn is much more serious and it's more for B2B.
B2B sales.
Yeah.
Cool. Amazing.
So yeah, you have an experience raising 150 mil as a student back then. So what did you learn about moving people then that shows up and how Imagine works right now?
Moving people then?
So like convincing people, I would say. Yeah.
So I think when it comes to raising money or doing anything, so the 150 mil was from the state of California and the UC Regents, and that was to fund a housing project at UC San Diego. So that's more of a public funding, but I mean the concept is very similar to trying to get funding for your own company. The idea is you always want to kind of fund this idea of a vision and a mission. You want to have a mission for what you're doing, and then you want to have a vision and a strategy for how you're going to get there. Right. So when the mission is big enough and you have a vision that's a vision-driven company, then you have a strategy that kind of backs it up. So Paul Graham calls this you have to be formidable with your pitch. You have to be formidable with how you present yourself. So and your company. So when you can do that, you can raise any amount of money you want, as long as your dream is backed by a strategy that follows it, right? So I don't know. From my experience, VCs. There's a book. Another investor told us about it, and we started reading. It's called Power Law by Sebastian Moretti, I think. And then Power Law is about how, as a venture capitalists, the history of venture capitalists and how they make money and everything, right? So a lot of it is tail end distribution. I actually read that book while I was
Well,
flying to
it's not clear.
Korea.
Yeah, you told me
Yes.
about it.
And then I was very hugely inspired by it, right? So anyways, in order to raise a great amount of money, you have to have a mission and vision that's stand strong and big enough for VCs to make that 100x investment, and then you have to have a strategy that's concrete enough to back it up. And when you couple this all in one, it become a formidable pitch.
Okay. It was like yesterday, one of our founders asked about like a book recommendation to kind of catch up with like the Silicon Valley history, and probably that's the book.
Yeah, that's the book. What was it
yeah.
called again?
It's called Power Law
Power Law.
by Sebastian Moretti.
Cool. So this is Soyeon and Jiwoon, the
Hello.
founders as well. We're just doing a quick intro as well.
Okay.
Do you want to say your one-liner?
Haven't practiced. Okay, I previously built a video streaming platform for AI film series and get into interview with YC and ACCZ, Spiran, and got rejected. And currently working on some other idea. So yeah, nice to meet you.
nice to
I'm
meet you.
still in the middle of like exploring.
Nice.
So I'm Sohyun from Korea, and now I'm living in LA right now. And I'm building an AI embedded spatial system with wellness AI agents running inside of it.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
nice
we're
to
just
meet you
going
guys.
around asking questions. Yeah.
I'm building two platforms. So the first one is unique data. Is the user side platform where people collect and control their health data. And other side is Unique Lab, the B2B platform institution side platform where researchers or hospitals can run studies using consented user data from the unique data. So we are thinking about rewarding users when they contribute verified data or participate in research, and then to promote they collect their health data more and more. So but I'm struggling in the sequence, so we are doing the B2B2C. So business model healthcare data business. Should I focus on the collecting users, or should we further secure hospitals and research partners and then recruit users through those projects? So I was really asked to do that one.
So I just want to get it clear. So are you basically, so from my understanding, right, is that you get hospitals and these kind of research lab to give you projects, and then you find patients for them.
Yes,
And
also that one too. But if it's possible, if we have already stored their data, and then we can match the project too.
So essentially, you're developing a consumer app, and this app basically collects people's data and pay them, and then you sell their data to hospitals and research labs.
Yes.
And then basically, and this data is kind of being matched to whatever research that's needed.
Yeah.
I see. How do you buy the patient's data? Do you fund it upfront?
No, we just suggest the infrastructure, and then they pay back to the customers. So hospital, if users contribute the data, and then they get back the point or like a crypto.
So it's a patient data marketplace.
Yes.
So basically, it's a patient data marketplace that allows user to get on the platform and sell their data, and then have hospital find users that matches what they needed.
Yeah.
So that way you can aggregate all the data in one place instead of sourcing patients every time you have a new research or lab project.
Yes.
I see. Is there anything like that exists right now?
No, it's not yet.
So there's nothing like that exists.
Yeah.
경쟁이 없어요?
Competition is only matching the platform, and then the promote the studies, and then which one who want to the participate study, and then just link it, and then all process is all there.
Yeah.
And the other thing is just collecting all of the data, only make the big data, and then just suggest just starting to the organization if they need something data, and then they just give the big data source. But I think there was now the real world data, so just like sharing the personal data on their own ownership, and then just sharing the platform wasn't there, I thought.
So essentially, right now there's two separate things. There's one is a marketplace for patients to find hospital to find patient, and then there's another one is the data, a big database where they basically buy patients' data,
Yeah.
and they just have it and they sell this data to hospital. What you want to do is you want to combine it so that the patients would sell their data to your platform, and then hospital will purchase the data directly from your platform. So kind of making it integrated.
Yes.
Is there why nobody's doing this right now?
Yes, I think somebody's doing that already, like, but other one is I think the other reason was the collecting the personal data was hard, and then collecting the data from the wearables and everything is, so if we type all of the data with that, so it's not easy, but in now we can get the data and from the government, and then they can send all of these data to the who want receive their data.
I see.
Yes.
Okay.
So in now, I think in now it can be possible.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I mean, I don't know. Are you? I guess it's kind of a chicken and egg situation, right? So it's like if you have a bunch of patients and you don't have hospitals or the lab to buy it, then buy the data, then you're kind of just sitting around a bunch of data and maybe even burning a little bit of money because you're just like you're collecting that data right from the user. But that kind of give you a moat because I don't see why hospitals and lab wouldn't buy your data if you do have tons of data already. But then at the second hand is that if you have a bunch of hospitals and you don't have patients, then that's a problem because you just basically made a bunch of empty promises to hospitals, right? So maybe you should get patients first, and then you have kind of a data moat from the amount of patients. You can provide some kind of incentive for them to utilize your platform, and you can collect their data. And with that information, then you can go to hospitals and be like, look, I have all this data. Do you want to buy it? And then the hospital will be like, okay, maybe, and then they will buy it, right? And now you have something concrete, and they will actually take action on it. So I think you should probably get the patients first. How have you been trying to acquire the patients?
What should I do first? To collecting the users or meeting the hospitals and get the do you need this one, and asking them on to, but it wasn't easy to me, but in now I think it's possible.
Yeah, I mean, I think another thing is if you're selling to a specific kind of lab project, then you should probably just get the hospitals and the project to figure out what kind of segment of users they need, and then you GTM that segment of users, right? So then you're more targeted. You're not just acquiring a bunch of users, and then I mean, I assume you need a really big database for this to happen in order to, if you have a bunch of users, to sell to the hospitals, right? But if you have a very targeted segment, like I'm a lab, I'm like, I need people who has depression. Okay, you're just gonna go find the segment of users that has depression. That's a much smaller job for you. So you could do it project by project base, and once you have enough projects, you probably collected enough users' data, and with that many data, you can just start selling more broadly. So maybe it's the first step to do is you maybe find the hospital, find the project, then GTM the segment of users.
During this zero-based camp, we learned a lot about personal branding is important for each founders. But I have two more co-founders, amazing co-founders. So my question is, do all three of us should create our own Instagram ads and LinkedIn accounts? Or should one of us focus on the personal branding and others should work?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, something to think about is that, so for example, there's a company from, from YC, and then now they're doing this kind of all-in-one customer support platform. They're called Pylon. Have you heard of them?
No.
So Pylon, Pylon. So Pylon, so they're a pretty big company now. I think they just raised a Series B. I mean, we were a customer of theirs, but then we churned. But basically, what they do is that they allow you to have this CRM that basically, I don't know, more AI native, record all your data, kind of having this context graph that records decision traces of customer success journey, right? So, so basically, for example, for them, they have three co-founders. Marty is the CEO, and Marty is very well known on LinkedIn, and he's very well known kind of in the space for posting for everything. And then the other two, they're also posting, but I think they're less well known. right? But then they all three of them seems very unified. So there's kind of this. I don't know. I think you shouldn't just doing personal branding and do nothing else. But I think one person should definitely focus more on this kind of front face focus, right? Because you do need kind of a presence. You want to be known as a way to do something. So all car, you want to be known as the platform that to rent a car instantly, right? That's easier than Turo. That's easier than your competitors. So you want to be known as that. So in order to do that, I think a part of it is kind of pushing out that branding. So I think one person should at least be doing that a good amount of time. They should do other things, not just do that, right? But then at the same time, your other two co-founders should still be doing some sort of branding, but not as much, because you just want to present a unified front. But you just need the company to be known for one person, and then like we're multiple, but like there has to be kind of a lead, right, to like know like, hey, this is what the company is about, like, yeah.
Cool. I want to ask a question on that as well. So we're talking about Korean founders in Korea wanted to make it to Silicon Valley. But obviously to get recognized or to be sort of gain attention in the Bay Area, you need to start posting. So do you think people who are from Korea wanted to make it to the Bay Area, they need to post a lot more than you just mentioned right now?
So are you saying that people in founders in Korea should post more?
Yeah. So for example, this whole conversation that we just had now, I'm assuming it's just Korean founders in Korea posting in Korean, suited for the Korean market. But what if that context has changed from Koreans wanted to make it to the SF, wanted to make it SF, but there's three co-founders.
So should they post more because they want to come to Korea? I mean, come to SF. I see. I think just depends on where your users are, right? If your users are in SF and you want to target SF users, I mean, this kind of relates to what our company do. So we're kind of building this infrastructure for modern GTM as our next product. I mean, the company mission is to accelerate B2B growth, but our next product is an infrastructure for modern GTM. So the idea is, as the world gets more noisy, you're getting messages, emails, and stuff you never read, right? A lot of this kind of new playbook is to identify a group of people, this cluster of people, and then you want to growth hack into this cluster of people. So how you do that is you want to increase your touch points and your surface areas with a group of people, as many people from that group as possible, right? And then and that's how you do kind of this modern GTM is you maybe, let's say you identify a group, you want to sell to YC founders. Okay, you identify the group of YC, this is the cluster. How do you GTM into them? Content is one of them, right? You want to increase content touchpoint. You have to make content that's suitable for them, that they consume this kind of content. Your competitor who's doing the same thing, selling to the same group of people, is kind of making that kind of content. And then you're going to increase that surface area. Another thing is go to events where this cluster of people are at. Another thing is perhaps doing outreach and many other things, right? So if you want to, let's say, come sell to SF group, then you identify who are the car renters in SF. Who are these people? And what's the best way to GTM into them? Is it to do paid ads through like Instagram, X, TikTok? Is it to make videos that would go viral in SF with, you probably want to post stuff like travel stuff in SF, right? And the people are like, oh wow, this is so cool. Maybe like, I don't know, some really cute travel videos with you driving a car in SF with, these kind of landmarks. Maybe that's something that would interest people, right? Or maybe perhaps it's not the residents of SF, because why would the residents of SF be renting cars? Maybe it's the traveler who's coming to SF. So how can you target those travelers? So you should be making content towards those people. So yeah, I mean, if you are trying to GTM into a community, you should be making content to increase that touch point.
Cool. It could be a follow-up question.
Yeah.
I can share you more details about myself, but the question is, I'm still preparing the product that isn't ready yet, since it could be a research project or like take some time to shape the shippable product. But still, as others said, what I've learned so far here is that I need to make my presence in the city to show off what I'm working on, and probably meeting some potential customers or some other related founders to create a bond. But I'm still figuring out what should I trying to do before the product is ready. So yeah, just want to get some tips on that.
So what should you do as a founder before the product is ready?
Yeah.
I mean, do you? I know you say you're in exploration phase. Do you know what you want to work on?
Yeah, I do. Previously, I worked on a video streaming platform for AI content, AI film series, and the next item that I'm thinking of is a deep tech thing, which is scanning service, which could be hardware or software. Like for instance, scanning this desk and transform into a physical digital twin, but not only just the surface layer, but also scanning some details in physical elements, like how stiff is this desk is, or how much it can bend, kind of thing. So it helps to others simulate something that they need to do before spend much money on physical layer or on training physical AI in those environments. That's the next item that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, that's a very popular trend right now. A lot of people in Founder Sync are doing that. So that's a very popular trend right now, actually, to scan the desk, understand the density, the tensile strength of the product and everything. So, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. So I'm assuming that, yes, you have a product you want to sell to, let's say, a group of people, but also you just want to establish a presence to be known in the space, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of this is kind of more personal branding than like, hey, like you have this great product, and then your mission is for people to, I don't know, scan object and make it into like digital twin. But instead, I mean, that's part of your mission, but a lot of it, you kind of want to establish yourself as a personal authority. Is that what you're trying to do?
Correct. And I think research and making a product could take time, since it's not just a simple like software application stuff. So I'm willing to fully focused on my time to meeting customers and building products with handling the research task as well. But at the same time, I feel like it is mandatory for me to keep growing my personal brand and show off my presence in the city, so I could grab on into some unknown opportunities that I could possibly get. So yeah, that
I see. Okay, so I think there's two ways to think about this. One is like if you're just thinking about your presence, then what you could do is you can just go to a lot of events. You can start making content surrounding those events. There's a playbook for this. There's this guy named Pavong, who's from UCSD. So he came to the city. He went to a lot of events, took a selfie with a bunch of people, posted selfie, tagged the people, and he kind of went very viral, like on LinkedIn and other platforms. So that's one playbook you can do. You can just like start going to a lot of events, taking selfie with the people, and then you can start like I mean that's kind of more of an influencer route, right? Because you're kind of just increasing your presence, and then you can also start posting. I think thought leadership would not work unless you have a community of people that already believe in you and is constantly engaging with you. So what you want to do is that you want to build up that community. So to build up community, you probably want to start going to events more. You do want to start making content kind of about personal journey, right? About your journey with others. And then I think that in totality could be something that a company can work on. Another part is that I know you're in R&D for your product, but if you want to be an evangelist for your product, you want to tell people about your product, then you can start with the mission statement of, let's say, what you want to do, right? The mission is not exactly, hey, I want to scan this object. Or maybe it's like help you physically manifest or something, right? And then that's your mission for how to do something, and you want to project that as the branding, right? So,
okay, yeah, that really helps.
Cool.
I'm curious about your product, and I'm curious what's your strategy for scaling up based on the software.
yeah, so for us, a lot of what kind of the general YC advice when you first started the company was to do things that don't scale, right? So we did that for a bit, kind of like getting to know the know-how and everything. That was last year. And then we developed a software product that's pretty robust. And then we got to a really good revenue during the batch. And then we raised a seed in December. So then after the batch, we actually launched again last February, and we sold to a really good revenue again. But now we realize, okay, through the past year of learning, basically building better content for your entire team, building scalable content that works, especially on LinkedIn, right? We want to be very focused on what we're doing and do one thing really well. So in doing that, we realized that it's not about the content. It's about kind of content is like a medium to create touch points and surface areas with your potential customer. So this become kind of the focus on modern GTM, right? So our product is, it's a SaaS, yes. So we charge subscription. So basically, one thing to think about is previously it's kind of like a tool that help you do this growth hacking into a segment of people. So content is a tool that help you do growth hacking. But now we're kind of creating the infrastructure underneath the tool, right? Which is kind of identifying the networks, like say, how are you connected to all the people here, and who are your peripheral connections, and how are they connected? What's your strength of connection with those people, and how do you, growth hack into, let's say, a cluster of people? Who are these people who are customized to you, right? So that way you can make very customized decisions and also very targeted decisions instead of just enriching a list of people that you don't know, don't have connection with, and just calling them or cold outreach them, right? So our software, what we're trying to be is the infrastructure layer, and it is a SaaS product.
So is it the agent running through the infrastructure?
Yeah. So the ultimate goal, what we want to achieve, is that we want to be so there's a trend right now in tech and in the world where we're moving away from copilot features and more onto autonomous agents. So one thing is kind of having this autonomous agents, this new interface of computer, this new interface of web, this new interface of GTM, new interface of B2B growth, new interface of everything, be autonomous, where you would trust the agent to magically complete your tasks, right? So that's a bet on agents and models getting better and better and better. And you should also bet on the model getting better. So as, let's say, the model improved by 10%, you should improve by 20% because of that increase, that jump in how good it is. So a lot of what we're focusing on is kind of becoming this autonomous agent model that able to just magically handle your GTM for you.
I have a question for zerobase. Number one question is how can I completely kill all the other accelerators in Korea? We're very uniquely positioned. We're the only one that's running everything in English.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we're the only one that we do a lot of these group office hours with YC founders. The other players are just getting all these old, successful Korean people to do office hours, which I think is meaningless. The second is currently we're sourcing for Speedrun and Founders Inc. How can we get money off them?
Money from the accelerator.
From Speedrun or Founders Inc.
So you want money from the accelerator to zerobase.
To us, yeah.
I see. So you're kind of raising kind of an LP kind of thing. You're trying to get them to be your LP.
No, not really. Just like a sourcing fee or something like that. Because we do sort of source our best founders from the batch to Speedrun and Founders Inc. And there are really some interesting ones. First of all, the first question: how can we completely kill all the other ACs in Korea?
I mean, as something to think about, right? As you're kind of, it's kind of like, remember we were talking about Aside's browsers? It's kind of like this browser thing, and I was talking to my co-founder and our team yesterday about this. Is that when you think about browsers right now, there's like Alice by OpenAI, there's like Perplexity ones, there's like the other ones, there's Chrome now with Gemini building, right? And then there's Aside launching their new browser, which I thought is actually pretty cool. So all of them will kind of converge, at the end to there will be one victor who's going to be kind of this new interface for browsers. So really what it is kind of like there's probably, I think in terms of accelerator wise, you are kind of, there's this theory. So there's this theory in social science. I forgot the exact social scientist's name, but the idea is when you are a bridge for two cluster people. So you're kind of the bridge between the Korean community and the US community. So you're the broker in the study. So you're called the broker. So the broker, the reason why the broker wins is because the broker gets the early access information from both clusters.
Sure.
So you get the information the earliest. So what that means is, as the broker, you kind of are arbitraging this information between US and Korea, and you're saying none of the other accelerator do that. So I think over time, as you build up more presence, you're just gonna be taking over kind of the landscape.
Right.
And then, I mean, so that's kind of from a information perspective.
Yeah.
And the second thing is, I mean, you're already doing this, right? You're doing so many content. You're doing kind of this. You organized that conference that we went to in February. That was pretty big and really awesome. And then also, like I suspect you're trying to kind of go more upmarket per se, kind of going after these kind of more traditional accelerators, and then getting into like these enterprises and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So part of that is just like you build up kind of, I guess you're going from more of a bottom up approach. So I assume you already built up this kind of name, branding and everything. And now it's just, you're like, hey, look, we source the best founders. We get the founders to the US, right? we get founders to the most amount of money. Like these are really good founders. If you don't have them, I will pipe them into somebody else, right? So then you would get like more traditional probably funds and everything in Korea to give to kind of having zerobase being their accelerator, right?
Sure.
So I mean that's one way to think. I mean the way I think about it, but I'm sure you thought about this more than I did. And then the second part is how do you get speed round founders in to give you money?
That's a funny one.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean that one is kind of like
I mean, at the moment we're like sourcing them for free because of their name values and stuff, and we can use those kind of name values to get more applications from Asia, right? To get more co-founders.
I mean, I guess one thing is if you have enough people that you can pipe to. So now it's like speed run. You have Founders Inc. and maybe you have other accelerators, YC or whatever, right? Yeah. And you're like, well, if this accelerator does not pay you, then I'm gonna pipe into this accelerator.
So play the
right?
game,
Right. So it's like, okay, well, they're willing to pay 10K for this founder. How much are you willing to pay? I will refer this founder to you, right? So that's one way to think about it. But I don't know if it's the best business model, just because it kind of left a sour taste in this accelerator's mouth. They're kind of like, well, I'm paying for like the founders that you guys source. Maybe another way is you just raised a bunch of money from LPs, right? You can be like, okay, can you guys introduce me your LPs, and then they just fund zerobase directly.
Because this is a very interesting conversation I had with Mike from Founders Inc. He's like, what's the point in zerobase? You guys cannot get rich. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, you guys already done the hard part in finding the founders, but you guys are not actually investing in them. So he would rather prefer us building a fund to get the early checks going in.
Yeah.
But building a fund is a different game, right? It's super hard. I'm not sure how's in the US than building a fund, but I feel like it's a different game.
I mean, I haven't built a fund before, but I talked with some of our investors and other people who build a fund. I mean, a lot of it's the same kind of pitch, right? Except that you're like, hey, look, you're a family office, give me your last 5% of your money, like when it comes to their investment, right? And then like, hey, like we have the best founder. I haven't been piping founders. I piped 100 founders to A16Z, Speedround, YC. I've been doing this for like this many years. Like, and then these founders, the result of these founders is maybe like 2% of them become unicorn. And then, so if I have invested this much money at this stage, this is how much money I would have made. So therefore, I'm gonna keep doing that. And now we're even stronger. We have even bigger brand. We have even more people and more even talent.
Cool.
So if you invest in us, we're gonna make sure your money 10x, right?
Sure.
And we're 100x.
Sure.
Maybe.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, at the moment we're like sort of deciding, okay, how do we get from level 2 to level 1?
I mean, maybe another way, just like you can be like, hey, if you join Zerobase, you have to give me 0.5% of your company. So for free.
Yeah.
In exchange, I will give you web credit. I will give you referrals to these accelerators. So you're kind of shifting the cost of this referral on the founders instead of the accelerator.
Interesting.
That's also another way to do it.
And they build up portfolio companies using it like that.
Yeah, so you basically have portcos, right? Because 0.5%, it's not a lot, it's an advisor fee, right? So when you're thinking about like advisor percentage, like let's say how much advisory share would you give to a really good advisor? 0.5% is probably like the ceiling for it. So you'd be like, okay, well, a really good advisor, one person, you pay 0.5%. We have a whole accelerator for you, we'll give you this much credit, and we'll refer you to the best things, and we'll stay with you, right? I'll take 1%. And then then you could actually get rich because let's say if one company become $1 billion, I mean, one person will be diluted, but you still
Sure.
result in a lot of
A lot.
money.
Yeah. Interesting.
Cool. But then it's a long-term investment.
It is.
So then you're not gonna see that money until like 7 years later.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Cool.
I have one more.
Yeah.
For me, my background is I've been software engineer for 7 years, and also my last company, where I joined as a founding engineer, went to a unicorn startup in Silicon Valley. So it was a bit strong experience and story when I started in Korea, but I'm not sure how much that is compelling or appealing in this area. So to give you more context about the company, it's AI. It's an AI company that has been built before ChatGPT, and it's building a foundation model for video understanding. So it's basically multimodal AI, and I've been working as a platform engineer. Not build that model there directly, but I shape the boundaries of that model to like make packaging it as a products. So I've been working for like slightly less than 4 years, and I joined there when the people were about 10-ish, and it scaled up to like more than 150, and got raised $200 million. How much is it like comparing to here?
So you were so you were probably the 10th, 11th engineer, their platform engineer. You packaged to basically commercialize the model.
Yeah.
And then this company got acquired by $1 billion company, or you became a $1 billion company.
No,
It became a $1 billion company.
Yeah.
Did you still have your shares from the company?
Yeah.
Right, it's vested, right?
Yeah.
So, and they moved to Silicon Valley.
No, they started here at the first place.
But are they in Korea now or in Silicon Valley?
Both.
Okay.
Most of the engineers are located in Korea, while their GTN and lead members are located in here. Actually, it's on right next to the pier.
Oh, nice, cool.
Pier's side.
I think that's a great story, right? That's a very compelling story. Like, hey, like I was a founding engineer for $1 billion company. I was employee number 10, and I basically helped build video. I mean, I helped commercialize the first video model before, ChatGPT really got commercialized, right? So I've been doing this for a while, and now I'm starting my own company that does this kind of video modeling or this kind of scanning for physical AI.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a pretty compelling story. It's like, hey, I have been riding with this company as employee 10, 11, until employee 100. I have seen this company raise like 5 rounds. I have been with this company for 4 years. I know exactly what's the playbook to grow. So therefore, if you fund me, I'm going to do the same thing.
Cool. Yeah, what I'm worried here is that there are too many like founders who have the similar experiences as I do. So yeah, but
I mean, I wouldn't shy away from your experience, right? Because it's like you're kind of capitalizing on that. You were doing this shit before it become really commercialized. So you were one of the first person to commercialize this.
Yeah.
And then you found that there's a gap. So now you're trying to fulfill it. So I mean, like when it comes to it, I think it's a pretty compelling story. Yeah.
cool. Thanks.
Yeah, of course.
Cool.